Hey everybody, this is Father Sean again for the Couch Chat, and it is the last week of August here in the Couch Chat and in the world, I guess. The last week of August of 2025. I'm in my blacks. Last weekend I was in my civvies, sometimes what we call it civilian clothes, civvies. Somebody also calls them my normies, but yeah, civilian clothes, but back in black as AC/DC says. So anyways, with Labor Day's coming up, of course, this weekend, but also in the church, I just want to point out one thing, is that tomorrow is the feast of St. Augustine. St. Augustine, I believe, died in the year 430. He was a great bishop, an incredible thinker, quite possibly one of the most influential people in the history of Christianity outside of the 12 apostles. So an absolutely important figure. And one of the things that St. Augustine did, so St. Augustine was a bishop in the city of Hippo, which was in northern Africa. And when he was the bishop, he gathered a group of priests, groups of brothers, basically, to live alongside of him, to live in community. And so he wrote a rule for Christian men living in community together. Centuries later, this gets adopted as the Order of St. Augustine, the Augustinians. And of course, you may know this, that Pope Leo was a member of the Augustinians before he eventually became the Pope. So Pope Leo is raised in Chicago. After high school, he enters the Augustinians to eventually become an Augustinian friar, and then, of course, a priest, and then on up the ladder. So St. Augustine is incredibly, and I say he's incredibly important, but there's so many great lines of St. Augustine, so many profound things. But one of the things, he's known as the doctor of the church that knows the human heart. He knows the human heart and its restlessness and this desire for happiness that we have and how we're made for others. And so he's got this great line. Let me see if I can, so two of the well-known lines. One of them would be, our hearts are restless until they rest in you, O God. Our hearts are always looking for something until they rest in you. So he says, our hearts are restless until they rest in you. And then one is, so he writes his conversion, and he says, late have I loved you, O beauty, ever ancient, ever new. You called and you shouted and you tore through my darkness. I was looking for you, I was looking for you outside, but you were inside, and I burned for your peace. That is not an exact quote, but it's pretty close. So anyway, St. Augustine, his feast day is tomorrow, the 28th of August. I'm sure Pope Leo is going to be celebrating it. But something else to celebrate is this weekend, of course, Labor Day means, in our parish, the Freiburg Homecoming. Always this Sunday before Labor Day. So that's coming up. I'm excited. It's always a good time to have everybody there. So for the last couple years, have been in charge of the hamburger stand. So if you want a hamburger or if you want some turtle soup, that's a whole different spot. But if you want a hamburger, if you want some French fries, come see us at the hamburger stand. Just want to thank everybody who makes the Freiburg Homecoming happen. It's just an incredible weekend. There's so many volunteers, such a great committee, and all the people who kind of pitch in. I know I had people that normally go to one of our other churches to say, hey, Father, you need any help with the hamburger stand this year? So it's great to see this kind of becoming a whole parish event. Many hands make light work. So hopefully see you at the homecoming this week. Maybe see you at Mass tomorrow to celebrate the feast day of St. Augustine. And one little heads up, with Labor Day coming up, Mass on Labor Day, that's next Monday, is 8 a.m. at St. John in Freiburg. It's a good way to get started off before we clean up after the homecoming. So anyways, hopefully you have a blessed weekend. Hopefully school's getting off to a decent start for you. We'll see you next time on the Couch Chat.